Hello and welcome to my review of Absolver, a game that can best be described as a mix between For Honor's combat and the RPG sort of elements to Dark Souls. You begin the game by creating a character with very limited options to customize. And then you pick a style to start with, which can be between Forsaken, which is kind of like a karate style, Windfall, which is more of a kung fu style, and the Cult style, which is kind of like a brawler, berserker type of style, I'm assuming. Once you begin the game, you're introduced to a dojo-looking setting where you have a bunch of people who look just kind of like you, all holding masks. In order to get the story started and the mystery involved with these masks, they appear to have some sort of power which you are infused with for your combat capabilities. And then it sets you on your merry way after that. You pretty much kind of have to figure things out on your own. You're just kind of told to go and take out these particular leaders, or we'll call them just boss fights. And yeah, that's about all I can really say about the story, or lack thereof. Let's move on to the good stuff about this game. Now, if Absolver piqued your interest, the main reason was probably the combat style. Now, I'm a bit of a martial art nerd, so when I first saw this game coming out, I was like, wow, I have to get this. This is going to be a lot of fun. I enjoyed For Honor's combat despite the issues with that game. I think I'm going to really like this one. And when I first saw the flying knees and the drunken style and the karateka style, all of the different elements, horseshoe punches, I could go on naming off many techniques that you'll see in this game. So if you're a martial arts type of person, you'll probably really enjoy this. Aside from just the fighting, you also have power-ups you can use. Some will heal you, others will stun or cause an exhaustion effect on your opponents. You get a small assortment of weapons as well. You get the sword, you also get the war gloves, which will be like augmenting your own fighting style that you already use. And it all blends together to make really epic fights with your opponents. And like I said, it's a lot like For Honor. You use different stances, and you'll use those stances to set up different decks for your combos. And you'll have attacks that'll be unblockable. You'll have attacks that can break through blocks a little more effectively. You'll also have parries and dodges, and then everything in between. Now, unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to actually record the multiplayer in this game. Now, the multiplayer makes the game a lot of fun as well. Now, remember when I said this is also like Dark Souls? As you're traveling through this world and going zone to zone, you'll find things that are similar to bonfires. They're altars. Also, like Dark Souls multiplayer, there'll be people just dropped into the zone with you, and you can choose to cooperate or duke it out with each other. It's up to you. You control them, or you can work together and defeat stronger opponents, or go and save somebody. Or just knock them off a cliff because they were standing too close and you decided to go, oops. Another page out of Dark Souls is the loot mechanics. You just find stuff out in the world, randomly dropped by the people you defeat, and the PvP system. And just like Dark Souls, if you have too much weight, it's going to affect your ability to move, your speed, and it'll also affect your damage. The more weight, the heavier the armor, the less damage you'll do, and vice versa. So if you have less weight, you're going to do more damage with your fists and attacks. So now to talk about the not so good things about this game. The biggest issue I have with this game is just how short it is. You can complete this game in probably a couple hours. Now your first playthrough is probably going to take a lot longer because you're going to take your time fighting probably everybody and having fun messing around with people in the world and the multiplayer. But after you've gone through the game and realized how short it really is, you just realize that you could probably complete this game in just a few hours. You can outrun the AI. They can't chase you very far. Their tether range is incredibly short. Once you break their tether range, which is probably like 10 feet, they'll go back to their spot. So that allows you to literally just run through the world and go to every boss immediately and skip everything. And the bosses are not really particularly hard, especially once you get a hang of the game and realize their mechanics and what uniqueness they have. Now, remember when I said that there was no multiplayer footage, unfortunately, on my behalf? I can't connect to the servers. Last few days, I cannot get onto the server. They're having connection issues as of right now. Also, I've heard there's some issues with them allowing people from the UK, Australia, and maybe a few other countries that can't connect right now. So if you're from these other countries and you're not sure if you're going to be able to connect, I would wait a while. I can't connect, and I'm in the US. So if I can't connect, I really doubt people from overseas can, especially with the issues they're already having when I can't connect. And that's really going to hurt their game because it's one of the main points to being able to play it. Most of the content is PvP because the storyline doesn't hold a candle to anything. It's very short. Once you've beaten all the bosses, you're done. I thought when I got through with it and beat the final boss, I thought the game was opening up to something else because it brings up the title and I'm just like, oh man, that was really cool. That means there must be more. And that's when I realized there's not. Sure, you can go and do PvP and do this whole school system they have involved, but the only replayability it has is to keep leveling, fight other players, and then at certain points of your PvP level, quotations, you will be able to fight these bosses on a harder difficulty, I believe. I don't think I have the patience to grind that much PvP just to fight these bosses again. So, without further ado, just like the game itself, this was going to be a short review, and I'll give you all the good things right off the bat. 1, the combat. The combat is really fun. I've had some very epic fights both with the AI and players. It's crazy satisfying when you land that huge haymaker hook fist right in the side of their face, taking them out, watching them spin a few times, and then fall off a cliff. Second's the multiplayer. I like the way Dark Souls did their multiplayer, and it's in similar fashion. You just go into a zone, you're dropped in with some random people you've never met before, and you choose to either help them or to fight them. 3, the style, the atmosphere, the sound effects, the music, it all goes well together. I really like it. And it's very sad that I have to go to the reasons why you might not want to pick up this game. And one of those is the story is just too short. It's really short. And you can easily get to the end of the story by skipping a lot of the AI and just going straight for the bosses, making it even more expedited. I have experienced a few bugs where I did crash or freeze up where I couldn't keep playing and have to reload the game. Now, the biggest issue, the number one biggest issue right now, which I'm sure they'll get around to fixing, is the connectivity. I cannot get to the server at this moment as I'm making this video, and I could not do it yesterday either. And people from other countries should probably wait as well till they get the okay that, yeah, it's working. We're good to go. Let's play. And because of this game's heavy reliance on multiplayer and the 1v1 for progression after the story ends, which is a brief story, that really hinders this game right now and puts me in a situation where I cannot recommend this game until they make that fix, and also maybe wait for a sale, because this game is short. Once you're done with the story, if you don't really enjoy the PvP, it's probably not the game for you. This is jc.exe, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Have a good one.